Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a very interesting show for you. Yep, Auburn is jinxed. I think it's pretty obvious, and FSU is just plain old bad. I'm really shocked at what's happened to FSU. I've never seen a team just nosedive like this before. Auburn's actually playing pretty good, but they've got kind of unique problems. Anyway, let's get into this. We'll start out with Auburn. This team needs to do something about this hex that's on them. Now, a big part of it is they didn't go get a quarterback this offseason like I wore Hugh Freeze out about. I even did a video about it, wearing him out. And he chose not to because he didn't want to spend the money. If you'll remember, he said he couldn't see spending $1 million on a kid to come play 1 year.
You sure about that?
You sure about that? Anyway, everybody's distraught in Auburn land. And when I show you the stats, you're going to be shocked that they lost that game to Oklahoma. But here's what Hugh had to say about it.
Kind of walk us through the decision. Jarquez has the big run up 11 at the 33 and throw it the first couple of plays and then set up for kind of 50-yard field goal. Can you talk us kind of that through that possession?
Yeah, I've got to make sure he understands the situation better, and we should have had runs there, you know, that were. I've got to be clear with him on what we're trying to do at that moment in the game.
Yeah, the game was over at that point. They just need to run some clock and continue to run the ball, which they were able to do really well. But Peyton Thorne threw the ball a couple of times, and Peyton had a great game up until the disaster in the fourth quarter, and we'll be talking about that as well. And this is Locked On Auburn's reaction, which usually if I want to know what's going on with Auburn, I'll go check them out.
This collapse by Auburn will be talked about for a very long time. Daryl, Auburn drops a heartbreaker, 27-21 to Oklahoma in a game where Auburn had the lead 21-10. They rip off a chunk play, and it really felt like there was this collective throughout the fan base saying, okay, awesome. Auburn's about to get a big win over a ranked opponent. Maybe we can kind of put the whole Cal and Arkansas thing behind us. This collapse will be discussed for a very, very long time in the same kind of whispered tones of blowing the 28-3 lead to Mississippi State a few years ago. I mean, it feels like it's just such a fluky way to lose, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. Auburn's finding different ways to lose football games. This one was so unique because up until about 8-9 minutes left to go in the football game, they were doing everything they needed to do to win. And you thought you had, like you said, you thought you had that big win at home against a ranked team. Auburn was better than Oklahoma today. And I know this is such a beating a dead horse. It was not as many self-inflicted wounds, but it was still missed opportunities and shooting yourself in the foot. And
and I'll show you that. These stats are mind-blowing. These are the team stats. Oklahoma, 11 first downs. Auburn, 26. Total yards, Oklahoma, 291. Auburn, 482. Passing, 161 versus 338. They even outrushed them. I mean, that's unbelievable. Time of possession, they had the ball for 11 more minutes. There's no way they lost this game. That one interception right there, the pick six, which is a disaster. I almost cannot believe what Auburn's done the last 2 years. They had Georgia beat, lost that in epic fashion. Now, Georgia got hot on them at the end. But to lose that Alabama game the way they did was absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they rushed 2 defenders and let Jalen Milroe sit back there and have tea and crumpets while he picked out which area of the end zone he wanted to throw to. And now this, plus the last 2 games they lost, which was Arkansas and California because of umpteen turnovers. This team's jinxed. And I know part of the reason why they're jinxed, but they're definitely jinxed.
Folks, Henry Bennett's going to show us what number he pulled out of the hat. What'd you get, Henry? Number 44?
No, 6 7/8.
Oh, Andy, he pulled out the hat side.
Yeah, they're jinxed. Now, obviously, they're going to have to go out and get a quarterback for next year, and they better be willing to spend at least $1 million. They need somebody that they can really count on. I'm sure Peyton Thorne's a great guy. And look, he had a terrific game up until he made the horrible mistake of the pick six. and deciding during his run pass option to continue to pass the ball when they needed to run the clock. So it's just, I've never seen a team find so many ways to lose. And this is not like a Hugh Freeze team. He normally wins everywhere he goes. He's just going to have to spend some money and go get a quarterback, and I think you'll see their fortunes turn because they're a very good and dangerous team. They just keep making tragic mistakes. And if you do that against quality opponents, they'll take advantage of it. You know, they're not jinxed. Oklahoma, Arkansas, California, they're not running around jinxed. So unfortunately for Auburn, how can this team be 2-3? I had you as a dark horse to get into the playoff this offseason if you went and got a quarterback. And you're showing me that you're really good. You just can't win anything. Anyway, Auburn's jinxed. Now let's talk about FSU. Folks, FSU is a total disaster. How in the world they're 1-4 after going undefeated last year in the regular season and winning their conference is crazy. And I know they're having all kinds of trouble with DJU and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know if it's just run through the entire team or what the crap's going on, but they're getting beat by teams that are middle of the road. You know, it's not like you're getting beat by Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, an Ole Miss, or, you know, Ohio State, something like that. You're getting beat by teams that are between 20 and 40. And you just got boat raced by SMU. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And they're very upset.
Oh, it's all gone to hell. It's all gone to hell. It's broken. It's on fire. It's dilapidated. It crashed into the mountain hours ago.
Yeah, it is there's no doubt now this is an epic fail of huge proportions. I mean, like we've never seen before. And I'm not just talking about Florida State. I think in terms of college football. And I saw a stat, before that no team had started 0-3 that was against unranked teams that was a top 10 team. And now you're getting blown out by mediocre teams. Yep. And it's just embarrassing. I can't explain it. I've never seen in my life a football program completely fall off a cliff to this extent. It is humiliating. I think Clemson can beat FSU by 80. Other than maybe Charleston Southern, I don't think they win another game. Yep. This team is completely in every aspect of the game, whether it's special teams, defense, offense. They're pathetic. And the worst part of it all, Tom, is the other aspect, the coaching.
Yeah, Florida State's in total meltdown. This is not a team that should be 1-4. Nobody can explain it. They just really can't. And I know part of it's the quarterback, but it's not just the quarterback. Auburn, I think, is just the quarterback. I think when they fix that situation, they're going to be okay. But FSU, maybe they just lost all their good players to the NFL, and they just had that big run. They had a great quarterback who got hurt, and they had all those NFL-level defenders. Or it could be that they just, sometimes negativity starts flowing through a team, and if you feel like your leader can't get you there, maybe they're kind of quitting or something. Some of the players are just like, well, what's the point? We don't have anybody that can lead us. It's really not good, and these are both teams, Auburn and Florida State. Auburn, I said, go get a quarterback, and then FSU went and got DJU, who had really struggled big time at Clemson. And I know he's a 5-star and all that, but when you'd already seen him in your own conference fail like he did, I'm sorry, he struggled like crazy. Why would you go get him and spend all that money? I just don't get it. Anyway, here's the thing. For all the people that are out there that gave my team, the VOLS, a bunch of grief because we paid Nico Iamaleava $8 million, which I don't know if that's over 3 years or what. That's the report, though. Does it look like it was a smart move now? You've got to have a quarterback, and you're going to have to spend money on a quarterback as well, or you're going to have to develop a guy. And if you can't develop them, you better go get one. And I'm so glad that we got Nico because we had a real dose of what it's like to have a great quarterback with Hendon Hooker, and he gave us 2 years of just fantastic play. And Joe Milton was okay, but we fell back with him. He didn't have all the intangibles that we needed and enough touch, but he did okay. But okay is going to get you okay with 8 wins in the regular season. Well, this year we've got Nico, which is a Hendon Hooker 2.0 with a higher ceiling, and we're looking at the playoff. Now, we've got some other things going for us, but Auburn's got a good defense too, and we've got a really good defense. So anyway, as a Tennessee fan, I can see this for what it is. You better go get a quarterback, both teams, and then you can kind of build around. FSU, you're going to have to spend a lot of time and effort in the portal this offseason. Auburn, I just think you need to go get a quarterback. I think once you've got that, I think you'll be fine. I know Deuce Knight is a real possibility, but he won't be ready as a freshman. So you're going to need somebody for 1 year. You're going to have to go out and get a gun for hire, so to speak, and get somebody that can play. Anyway, I did want to cover these two teams because they're both in similar situations. They're not winning, but one's in real trouble, and that's FSU. And they're just going to have to kind of take a good hard look at the situation. I think Norvell is actually a good coach. He won at Memphis. He's won at FSU. So he's proven he's a winner. He knows what to do. He's just going to have to make a better choice at quarterback and try to get everybody on the same page again. And I know a lot of the ACC stuff and all that really kind of got FSU off into a bad place this offseason, but it sounds like that may get worked out to where you end up staying with the ACC. You just get more money. But anyway, just thought I would cover these two teams because they're both kind of shocking, really. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, hit this little button right here. It won't cost you a dime, and it helps me out, help you get my videos. See, something in it for both of us. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.